Hey Wales, good morning. It is Tuesday, August the 26th. Let's recap the markets and go over the top stocks to buy for today. And as always, before we jump in, let's review our trades so far for this year to see how we're doing. And you guys can see we're doing really well. We're up 90K USD in profit, 59% win rate as well. And as you guys know, we only started with 100K at the beginning of this year. So 90K in profits, guys, not too bad overall. With the Discord group, we did take trades across Talon Energy, DR Horton, one of the home builders that have absolutely exploded for us, as well as Cheesecake Factory, and multiple different trades as well. We're in about 7 or 8 different positions going into September, all across not only high growth names, but retail trades, defensive. So we have a very nice and balanced portfolio going into the last quarter of this year. And I'm really confident we're going to have a great rest of the year as well. You guys can see in terms of our trades, they're all posted here in Discord, guys, right? So you get the swing trade ideas for those that are busy with their lives, bigger position sizes, longer term trades, as well as day trade ideas for those that are more active every single day. And you guys can trade alongside 2,000 plus members here, guys. I'm telling you, you're going to make so much money with us. We're absolutely killing it. So I look forward to seeing you here. The link is in the description for you to join. Okay, so with that said, let's jump into our top stocks to buy, guys. So as you guys can see, there are multiple different patterns that I love to trade. The first one is the inverse head and shoulders pattern / accumulation. These are stocks that are moving sideways, that have found a bottom, that are starting to ramp up and build a position before going higher. So we like to take a look at that. We also love bull flag setups. So these are flag setups that essentially are continuation patterns within an uptrend. So we want to always buy the dip within the uptrend. And then finally, the pullback. So the pullbacks are companies, great companies that are pulling back that we like to take a look at to see if there's any key positions to go into as well. So let's rapid fire this. There's a lot to cover here. And let's go over the S&P 500 first. So as you guys can see, we're still very bullish on the weekly, daily time frames. The price is all above the moving averages here. We are getting a little bit extended, right, away from the moving averages in terms of the weekly. However, we do see some extensions possibly forming to finish off at 3, 4, 5, to finish off all of a larger degree wave 1 before a larger degree wave 2 to come down to sort of have that inflection point of the moving averages, right, as sort of main support. So keep that in mind. Keep your risks a little bit lower around these stages, right? This is not the time to go pretty deep. That was back here in early March. Right now, it's sort of, lower risk, in my opinion, lower position sizes, and have your cash ready for the larger dip because it is going to come. All right, so with that said, let's jump into the first section, which is the inverse head and shoulders. And we're going to take a look at the first stock here, which is Dutch Bros. So for Dutch Bros, guys, you guys know it's been a coffee chain that's on the rise so far. You guys can see nice coiling cup pattern. We're starting to get this sort of cup and handle pattern starting to form, right? Coiling, consolidating, and then I do expect further upside. You can see for Dutch Bros as well, for the earnings and EPS, amazing growth so far. So these are opportunities for you to take a chance at such a great growing company that could sort of rival Starbucks and the rest of the names here for specialty coffee. Another name that we like right now is CVS. And CVS has been an atrocious company over the last 2 or 3 years, right? Falling about, let's say, from about 60%, guys. But we do believe that those types of retracements present great opportunities, and CVS isn't going anywhere. It's a great brand name. You're starting to see some inverse head and shoulders patterns starting to form. We're essentially moving sideways for these moving averages to have a golden cross here in the future, right? So we're starting to see a market structure shift. We're starting to get a downtrend, move sideways, and then ultimately we're going to shift the market structure to an uptrend. So keep a lookout for CVS. They are a big pharmacy retail, guys. Pharmacy retail has been hit hard, but these are sort of the opportunities that you're looking for. Great name. It's not going anywhere. It has the PBM, the Pharmacy Benefits Manager business as well, which is a $1 billion giant in the background that nobody knows about. So keep a lookout for CVS Health. Another name that could be very interesting here is Deckers Outdoor. So ticker symbol DECK, guys. So Deckers is the big brand name behind the infamous Uggs shoe line as well as Hoka and other names, okay? But Uggs is a fantastic brand, guys. It's an amazing brand that I do believe has a chance to continue rising, especially with Christmas coming around the corner. This is typically where retail stores like Deck is going to do really well. Okay, you can see it's sitting on the 200 weekly moving average with the price starting to consolidate. So yeah, starter position or at least a nice conviction could be in play here for a chance at market beating returns. Okay. Next one that we like is Disney. So if you take a look at Disney, guys, Disney, if we zoom out, I do believe the worst is over. This was sort of the time and place where Disney lost its way. It was starting to become more woke, and all this sort of drama within the Disney world. However, you're starting to see some accumulation moving sideways. I do believe it found a bottom on the monthly moving average as well. You're starting to see better movies come out from Disney, and it's trying to pivot into becoming a huge content, library, trying to outpace Netflix. Okay, so keep a lookout for Disney. Right, it's starting to work on sports on ESPN and everything of like. So this could be a huge opportunity to get into a fantastic brand name that is not going to go anywhere. Plus, you have all the entertainment with the cruise lines, with the parks. It's unstoppable, guys. You can't go wrong with Disney. Another name that could be very interesting here is Doximity. So Doximity is the LinkedIn for doctors. You can see the coiling pattern, very similar to what Bros is doing. And if you're more believer in sort of the doctor industry and sort of the medical industry, Doximity is the leading platform there because, as you guys know, doctors are such a specialty where a lot of pharmacy companies want to advertise to them, a lot of medical device companies, a lot of financial services, right? So Doximity is perfectly in line for them to sort of grab that large ad revenue and actually push this. They have 80% of doctors are on Doximity in the US, guys. 80% of doctors. So, it has a huge niche population on the platform that could be very interesting for the future. Okay. All right. Another great brand name that I think is a buy is Hershey Company. So Hershey, as you guys know, everyone knows Hershey, great brand name, which I love. One of the main things that I look for is great brands. And this was sort of the Coca debacle of the pricing situation, right? So Coca was going crazy during this time. And then this area here, this downfall, was because of tariffs. So those two combined has really beaten down Hershey. And ultimately, at these levels, I think the worst is over, guys. You can't go more worse than a tariff and Coca industry being absolutely demolished. So, with that, I do believe Hershey's going to have an outstanding return over the next 5 years as it starts to reverse here. Plus, you get an amazing dividend while you wait. So keep a lookout for Hershey. I think it's a great name. All right, another name that might be interesting is Coca-Cola. So you can see Coca-Cola starting to wedge out, right? Could start, make one more sort of low here. Okay, before trying to go in or retest the weekly 200 moving average. But ultimately, any dip is considered a buy. Great brand name, amazing company. You're starting to see a weekly cup and handle formation as well. So keep a lookout for Coca-Cola. It's going to provide probably market stable returns, right? Nothing crazy, but I do think that this is an opportunity for you if you wanted to get into a very stable name. All right, a high flyer that we like that we mentioned in the past here is Lyft. So the reason why I like Lyft is because Lyft is typically a multiple of Uber. So if Uber does 2%, Lyft is going to do 4%. You can take a look from the swing lows to the swing highs in terms of the main targets. The fair value for Lyft is what we're looking at is around $30 to $47. You can see it's starting to accumulate here. It looks like the worst is over for Lyft. You see very high volumes across this area for buying. So this is the opportunity for you to get into Lyft, especially if prices continuously goes up for Uber. People are going to go away from that and try to go for budget friendlier companies like Lyft to take them in terms of the ride sharing. So could be a longer term play, but I see Lyft as a long term winner. All right, another name that we like is Oscar Health, guys. So Oscar, you guys can see, is starting to form a possible inverse head and shoulders pattern. It's holding the weekly moving averages. We've been mentioning this for a few weeks now, and a 200 moving average cutting across, acting as support. So yes, it can come down one more time if it breaks the lows, maybe closer to retest some of these highs here, around $9 to $7. But because the fact that we're still above the weekly 200 moving average, this is more bullish than bearish in my opinion in terms of the structure. It's going to be very choppy, so expect crazy swings, 5% up, 5% down, 8% up, 8% down. But as long as this price can hold at 1122, you're looking for Oscar to at least retest the highs and ultimately go to a 52-week high. All right, so I like Oscar's accumulation there. And another one that we've been mentioning over and over again is Tesla, guys. You can see Tesla continues to coil here, right? I'm already in from the lows on Tesla. You can see as well, sitting right on the weekly moving averages as support, looking pretty good. And I think we have a great chance to reach 400 to 460 by the end of this year. Let's see. But, ultimately, Tesla's starting to break out and it wants to try to make this higher high. A lot of the lagging names in the S&P 500 are starting to, show some signs of life, like American Airlines, Tesla, Apple, right? They're starting to become a little bit more awakened, all right? And then finally, another name that we like is Warner Bros. So you can take a look at Warner Bros here. So Warner Bros, same thing as sort of Disney. It had a huge downtrend. The movie industry, in my opinion, has seen its worst. We've had some horrible movies over the last couple years. No huge box office hits, right? But it's starting to become a little bit better. Shows are becoming a little bit better. Subscribers are getting a bit better. And these companies are starting to understand how to monetize their customers much better as well. So you can see that with that catalyst, right? Entertainment, everything like this, you're starting to see accumulation for Warner Bros. And I think it's going to provide market-beating returns in the future as well. And it has Discovery, guys. Discovery is a great sort of channel as well that has great shows. So keep a lookout for Warner Bros. I think it's going to do fantastic. And that concludes sort of the inverse head and shoulders and accumulation patterns. Let's go to the flags. Now the bull flags, again, they're continuation patterns across uptrends. So we'll go to the first one, which is Apple. So you guys can take a look for Apple here. Apple, we're starting to make some higher highs, higher lows on its uptrend. And you can also see that we're starting to form a flag pattern here. So Apple's starting to consolidate. And the thing I like about bull flags is that you can see that it's not impulsive down, right? You're not seeing large candles down. You're seeing nice, healthy consolidation across this uptrend with the moving averages acting as support. I think these areas could be a great inflection point for Apple to continue heading higher here. Another name that we like is Arista Networks. Same thing, nice bull flag formation on Arista, right? Look for that consolidation starting to form and look for further upside. If you zoom out to the daily moving averages, right? We did get that golden cross, so this is officially a bullish sequence, right? We broke to all-time highs, so this concludes that this is not a bearish, right? Structure down. This is a bullish structure. We made a higher high. So now, since we made a higher high, you're looking for a higher low. So with that higher low, you can expect more continuation towards the upside. Let's keep going. The next one is Burlington Stores. So again, it has sort of the seasonality coming into effect soon. With seasonality comes Christmas, and Burlington's one of those stores that's going to do very well, especially during the winter time. You can see it is either forming a pennant, like a flag, or this bull flag forming. Okay, so look for this consolidation here. We're starting to get a golden cross on the daily as well after months of sort of bearishness. So it looks like it's starting to try to keep going up here for Burlington. So keep a lookout for that Santa Claus rally. Another name that's very interesting that we like is Chewy. So keep a lookout for Chewy here. We're looking for an inverse head and shoulders pattern starting to form. You're getting a golden cross on the weekly for the first time. And you guys know, for pet lovers, people that have pets, they will do anything for their pets. So you're looking at Chewy as a fantastic add to your long-term portfolio if you wanted to get into the pet category, which is always recession-proof, yeah? So you're looking for Chewy to do something like this in the future and head to $57 to $70. Let's keep going. For next one is DoorDash. So we like DoorDash, right? Consolidating, beautiful uptrend. The largest, food delivery company in the world. And you can see amazing consolidation flagging right on the daily moving averages here, guys. So you're looking for DoorDash either to bounce off here or a little bit lower at the 200, but either case, this is a buy for me for DoorDash. Another name that we like that's more of an inflation hedge is Dollar Tree. So Dollar Tree is starting to form a potential consolidation here. Again, it's not impulsive towards the downside. It's not looking like this, large red candles. What we like is nice, healthy consolidation like this before further upside. Great golden cross back here. So obviously this is a very bullish structure, guys. So you always want to buy the dips on bullish structures, especially if it comes down to some of the moving averages, especially if it consolidates into a bull flag. This is prime for a setup. And again, you have 62% chance for bull flags to continue going with the trend. So, that's really good odds. Another name that might be interesting is eBay. So eBay, it's sort of consolidating as well here, right, into a potential bull flag as well. So very high growth, high flyer as of late. So if you want to take a chance on this continuation with the uptrend, with a very strong uptrend, you can keep going and try to buy this consolidation as it continues to make its way. All right, and then another name that's very interesting here is Estee Lauder, guys. Estee Lauder from the lows had its worst sort of situation, and you can see we're getting that bullish cross now in the daily, and you're looking for this flag formation to start forming for Estee to continue going up. We have the moving averages on the daily. We have the 200 moving average acting as support. So as long as Estee Lauder can hold these levels, look for further upside. I do believe that it broke the downtrend, right? We have a new cycle now towards the upside. Let's keep going. All right, another name that would be very interesting is Lemonade. So Lemonade, as you guys know, it's capitalizing on AI and using AI for insurance. So you can see that we're starting to form a bull flag here. So across these levels, guys, could be interesting for you to take a chance at a great name like Lemonade. Okay, you can see the daily moving averages are still a little bit further away. So, it could have a little bit of a few weeks consolidation here before it tries to find that inflection point and higher. So keep a lookout for Lemonade. I think it's a great play in the future. Same thing for MSI, guys. Motorola. If you guys don't know Motorola, you guys should. It's essentially the monopoly on security, guys. Security. So anything in terms of dispatch systems, walkie-talkies, everything for the police force, everything for not military. They do have some military, but mostly in commercial in terms of the police force, yeah? So look for this amazing bull flag starting to form. For the Discord group, we did get in, right, around these levels at the low 400s. And you can see the breakout. You're starting to see a daily bullish cross here. So keep a lookout for Motorola. With this bull flag, we started to shift towards the upside. So again, guys, in uptrends, you want to buy the dips on uptrends. So buy the dip, okay? You don't want to buy the dip on downtrends, right? You don't want to buy the dip on downtrends. You want to buy the dips on uptrends. So this is a dip opportunity on a great company on Motorola, and it gives you great dividends. Okay. Another name that could be interesting here is Norwegian Cruise. As you guys know, we've been bullish on cruise lines and entertainment and sort of just travel and leisure companies. We're getting that bullish cross on Norwegian very soon, and does look like a potential wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then more upside for a fifth, trying to retest all-time highs. So keep a lookout for Norwegian. I like cruise lines, guys. My parents just went on a cruise. They saw it's basically sold out, so keep a lookout for cruise lines. Okay, another great name here, Ollie's Bargain Outlet. If you guys don't know, Ollie's has been one of the fastest growing outlet stores in the U.S., starting to form a bull flag here, right? And it's on the daily moving averages, coming very close. So watch for this consolidation. Keep this on your watch list. Look at the company, guys. Growing revenues constantly, better net margins over the last 2 or 3 years. So keep a lookout, right? It's looking very strong, in my opinion, and you can see seasonality starting to come into play, especially with winter coming. And I do believe Ollie's is a great name for you to take a chance here at further upside. Okay, another name here is O'Reilly. O'Reilly Automotive on the daily is starting to form a nice bull flag as well. Okay, so we broke out to all-time highs, you can see. So this opens up a bullish sequence. So again, on an uptrend, what do? You buy the dip on the uptrend. So keep a lookout for this consolidation. Keep a lookout for dip buys on O'Reilly. Another name that we think could be interesting here is PepsiCo. So PepsiCo is forming a potential flag here on the 4-hour time frame. So pulling back nicely, okay? So look for this sort of similar to this structure here, right? Look for this structure to play out and continue heading higher. Again, it's making higher highs, higher lows. So this is a chance for you to essentially try to get a great name on a dip. And again, you're looking for the golden cross to form. So it might take a few weeks here, but could retest that and try to bounce off it. All right. Another name is Raymond James Financial, guys. Raymond James is a fantastic company. I do believe it's highly undervalued, or at least sensibly, reasonably priced. You can see we got a golden cross on the moving averages just recently, consolidating nicely. You can see as well for the EPS. I mean, look at this, guys. This is a top company. Growing EPS, growing revenues, something to definitely keep a lookout for Raymond James. They are a very well-run company. Okay, another name is Ralph Lauren. I do like Ralph Lauren here, starting to form this bull flag. So, on the bottom half of this area, watch for that consolidation and higher on the moving averages. Great retail name. And again, Christmas is coming up. Retail stores tend to do very well. Okay, another name is Charles Schwab. So you guys know there's been an influx in trading and traders starting to come into the world of stocks here. Ultimately, you're starting to see companies like Charles Schwab, Interactive Brokers, Robinhood do very well. They're going to have millions and millions of clients. And, watch for this consolidation here for Charles Schwab to continue heading higher, okay? I do think more people are becoming more investor or becoming more financially savvy. They're going to use platforms like Charles Schwab constantly, okay? Okay, another name is Synopsys. So pure semiconductor play, a little bit more risky, but you're looking at this consolidation, nice consolidation so far. Look for the daily moving averages to catch up to price. Keep this on your watch list for a chance. Another name is S&P Global. S&P Global is a fantastic financial analytics company, guys. It is one of the best companies in the world, and you're starting to see a nice flag formation starting to form. So again, anything around the bottom half of this channel could be an interesting buy. You're starting to see the daily moving averages starting to catch up as well. This could be an inflection point for continuation higher. Again, opened up a bullish sequence, went above the all-time high, so this opens up that uptrend that you're talking about. So look for that higher low to buy into. All right, and then another name is Vistra. So Vistra, as you guys know, for energy and utilities. I'm bullish on energy and utilities. As the AI revolution continues, we need more utilities, we need more energy. You're looking for Vistra to continue heading higher. We did break to all-time high, so this opens up a bullish sequence. So you want to buy the dips on the uptrend. Warby Parker, again, specialty retail stores, I do believe are going to do very well. So keep a lookout for Warby Parker. Christmas is coming, right? So you're looking for consolidation levels here across the moving averages. And this could be a winner as well. For the Discord group, we did get in at the lows, right? At the April lows down here. So looked very good and already up 110%. So look for more consolidation and higher. And then finally, just wanted to re-emphasize for XLU. So this is a utilities ETF. So anything utilities, guys, anything in terms of energy, look at this consolidation happening, yeah? This is the opportunity for you to get into utilities if you've never been, right? Utilities are very great dividend-paying companies as well. So as you know, I'm in Dominion. A lot of my members, we got into Next Era Energy as well. So, keep a lookout. We're already up so much. This could be another consolidation and higher. Okay, finally, let's go over the last section, which are the pullbacks. So these are great companies that are pulling back that you always want to keep a monitor on. So the first name is BJ's. So BJ's Wholesale. So you guys can see it's right on the moving averages for the weekly, right? Look at every time it reached the weekly moving average, what happened, guys? What happened, yeah? So it signaled a bottom. And in terms of the business, I mean, overall, the reason why it's down so much, it missed revenues in terms of the top line, but EPS is still growing and still doing very well. Annual, it continues to grow its membership. Okay, so keep a lookout for BJ's. I think it's going to do really well in terms of long-term outlook. Yeah, I think it has about 200 stores. It wants to open 250. So that growth story will continue to project BJ's to continue going higher. All right, another name, again, we've been mentioning this over and over again, Chipotle. Could be very interesting here. Again, at the 200 weekly moving average, every time it went there, signal to bottom. If you want the best fast casual company in the world, you got to go with Chipotle. For Costco's pulling back here. Looks possibly like a weekly consolidation could happen. Could test the bottom half of this channel. All right, so if that's the case, you want to, make sure you get into Costco. Costco's a great company. You do not want to miss your opportunity going into Costco. So look for this consolidation to happen. You can have starter positions. You can buy slowly every single week, whatever you can. But you want to get into Costco here at the lows here on the weekly. For DRI, so DRI restaurants, you have great brand names that I don't think are going to go away. Fast casual dining. On the daily moving averages, pulled back nicely, right? Continues to beat earnings, guys. It has been a turnaround story for DRI. So, these levels look pretty good to me for further upside. You also have the weekly, if it does come down, to test the weekly moving averages as well. So, great opportunities if you wanted to get into the restaurant industry. Another name that might be interesting is Duolingo. So, Duolingo essentially is the largest language company in the world, right? So they essentially make money on anybody trying to learn a language online. And I think that's a great business model. So keep a lookout. I think this weekly moving average could be a very interesting play here, at least a starter position. It could go down all the way lower to 212, right? Definitely not opposed to that, right? But these are two levels that could be very interesting for you if you wanted to get into Duolingo. Another name that's very interesting is Fortinet. So Fortinet, you guys can see on the 200 moving average, great cybersecurity name. I think this was a huge overreaction. So interesting levels for you to take a chance at for further upside if you love cybersecurity. Another name that I like and starting to like even more is Lululemon. So you guys can see Lululemon has been hit pretty hard because of slowing growth, especially within the U.S., but international expansion could help. And you are very close to the 618 level where buyers typically like to step in. But yes, it can go lower to 127, right? We just don't know where the low is in. But these levels could make a pretty good, compelling case. Great brand name, and can come down even lower to 62, right? That's sort of the worst case scenario. But you can see for Lululemon, continuous growing revenues, growing EPS, growing margins. So it might be overreactions from investors here. So, yeah, I think you can take a shot there. Another name that we like is Microsoft. So keep a lookout for Microsoft, guys. Starting to pull back nicely, possibly into the daily moving averages here. Maybe a wedge formation starting to form. We just don't know yet, right? But if you wanted to get into the best name of the Mag 7s, in my opinion, as of today, right, I think Microsoft and Meta were the winners in Q2. So blowout earnings. And I think it'll continue to push higher, okay? So you can get into Microsoft. Another name that's pulling back nicely is Cloudflare. So keep a lookout for Cloudflare starting to form that, wedge formation or sort of a bull flag right on the daily moving averages. So a starter position here, as well as if it dips down to the 200 daily moving average. Great name for you to take a chance at. All right, Oracle. Nobody knows what Oracle does, but apparently they're doing very well, yeah? It's pulling back nicely to the daily moving averages here, and the 200 could be an interesting buy area. So keep a lookout for Oracle, dividend-paying growth name, and continues to head up and uptrend. We got that golden cross far back here, so this is the first time it's retesting the golden cross. Palantir. So Palantir, I don't know what to say about Palantir too much because it is such a crazy name, super overvalued, right? But the markets love it, but I don't know how long this can last. But you're starting to see Palantir, find some support here as a starter, and then probably the 200 moving average could be something interesting. But this company is just not for me. I don't like investing into too crazy names. Okay, weekly moving average is kind of far away, so yeah, it can come all the way down to retest that weekly to continue its uptrend higher. Okay, so keep a lookout for Palantir on dip buys if you wanted to get into it. And for Reddit, as you guys know, Reddit's my darling. We mentioned in Discord to buy it here at the 100s, the low 100s, and also here at the low 140s. So we had that huge earnings burst and starting to pull back. If it does pull back, you need to buy Reddit. I do think it's going to be a huge winner in the future. SMR, we did mention that these levels around the 200 to the 50 moving average could be a buy area. If you wanted to get into a nuclear name, that would be very interesting for you to position yourself into. Again, this is a very speculative play, but pulled back nicely on an uptrend. So this is the first time it's pulling back since, back here in May. So this could be a chance for you to take a chance at further upside if you want to get into it. Another pullback name that we really like is Target. So keep a lookout for Target, guys. Great brand name. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. Yes, it has some difficulty over the past few years, but again, retail store on the 200 monthly moving average, guys. Fun fact, Target has never broken the 200 monthly moving average since 1985. So very interesting, possible low, who knows, right? But this is the time. If you ever wanted to get into a play, Target is the area here that I think could be very interesting. Okay. TMDX. So TMDX, has a monopoly on organ systems. It is pulling back, right? Still pretty choppy here. Okay, but around these areas does make sense for a chance if you wanted to get into TMDX. I know a lot of people are interested in this company, so I wouldn't be surprised if you got into it here. We did mention in the Discord group to buy down here at 65. So we are in at the lows, so keep a lookout as well for this opportunity. For TSM starting to flag out, right? We do like it across, again, the 50 to the 200 moving average. It's an amazing company. I mean, look at the growth, guys. Look at the growth. Fantastic growth overall. Now there are going to be some headwinds with, competitors now popping out in the US. So keep a lookout for TSM, but still a very great company overall. Another company is UNH. So we mentioned for UNH, when it reaches the monthly moving average, right, you can go for it. And I do think that this is the low, if not very close to the low. It can come down and pierce through one more time, maybe 186 to 209, right? But, very interesting levels here. Great paying dividend as well. And finally, a pullback name that we like is Walmart. So Walmart's starting to pull back a little bit after sort of its miss on earnings on EPS. So you can take a look. It is on the moving averages here on the daily, on the 200. Weekly is still far away, so you can have another tranche buy if it dips a bit lower on that weekly moving average for Walmart. Okay, so it looks sort of similar to maybe a Costco, right? Retail is looking a little bit shaky, but Santa Claus rally is coming up soon, and retail tends to do well. So this could be your chance to position into retail. So overall, guys, that's it. Those are sort of the main plays overall in terms of the top stocks to buy. And again, come join Discord. You get the day trade ideas. You get the swing trade ideas. Long term, you get all the signals of exactly when I get in, get out. The 100x baggers, guys, we bought more, right? So you get exactly what I get into every single day for the next 100x baggers accounts. And we have 43K in realized profits since June, 12K in unrealized profits on just a $100,000 account. So I'm telling you, you can follow alongside me. I do this every single day, right? So looking forward for you to join. We're going to make so much money together, and you're going to be joining 2,000 plus members, guys. Talk to you guys soon. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.